and with people in the streets of Carlisle. 7:26, Five Live Breakfast on a Saturday morning, and with his side rock bottom of the Premier League, Newcastle United manager Alan Pardew will not only have to contend with Hull City today, but also the possibility of a large-scale protest from their own fans at St James's Park. The website sackpardew.com is behind the plans, and we can now speak to Ian, that's not his real name, who's a representative of the website. Good morning.
Good morning.
Just why did you feel the need to set up a website called sackpardew.com? I mean, obviously the clue is in the title, but is it all his fault?
Well, in terms of the need to set up the website, we felt that it was needed to highlight the disparity between the perception and reality. And what the website does, it highlights the facts, the figures. It puts them there clearly in black and white on the page for people to see, to highlight. What's gone on over 4 years, not just the start of this season, over 4 years. Things like presided over the worst home defeat in 87 years at Newcastle United. First Newcastle manager to lose 6 consecutive Premier League games. Only 5 wins in the whole of 2014. I could go on, but the website really puts things there, clearly highlights the severe managerial deficiencies which have led to Newcastle United falling into a really dark, ambitionless place.
Let me bring Roger in on this. Roger Howe is a Newcastle fan of nearly 60 years, and he'll be at St James's Park later. Roger, do you agree with Ian? Is it all Alan Pardew's fault, or should Mike Ashley, should the players take some blame?
Well, good morning.
Morning.
I think the players have got to take a lot to blame. Over these past few weeks, they've walked across that touchline and done just a normal game. There's no passion. Alan Pardew, yes, he's the man responsible to get the best out of that team, but it's no good taking one of your better players. He's not one of my favourites. We've seen glimpses of him, Ben Arthur, but you don't lose players like that to Hull City. We've lost a lad at a centre-half. We've let him go to Roma. He's not good enough for Newcastle, but he's good enough to play in the Champions League. That has got to lay on Pardew's doorstep. It just seems to me he makes a lot of decisions that isn't in the best of the football club. So he's got to, stand up and say, I'm wrong, instead of coming out with all the dribble that he does. But if he's working under financial constraints, then the man at the top, Mike Ashley's got to take the blame.
Ian, you've asked us not to use your real name. Why is that? Are you worried about a backlash?
Absolutely not. No. The website's anonymous to help unite our supporters. There's been various campaigns and campaign groups set up previously over the years, in recent years, that haven't gone anywhere, that really hasn't worked. Our anonymity has allowed us to bring the supporters together. The group isn't about egos. It isn't about names. It's not about getting in the press. Not about getting on the radio like we are now. It's not about getting your name out there. It's not about publicising yourself. So the anonymity allows us to take a step back, enable the fans to come together and really unite. And this is the first time this has really happened.
It does feel very personal, though, Ian. I mean, if somebody set up a website called sackian.com, how would you feel about that? How would your family feel about that? Do you ever think about what it must be like for Alan Pardew and his family at a time like this? Because I'm sure that he knows that things aren't going well.
I'm sure, yeah. And it's nothing personal in terms of a personal attack on him in that sense. But I would counter that by saying Alan Pardew is a man doing this job at Newcastle United. He's clearly not the person for the job. He should have some dignity, some self-respect, and he should walk away.
Roger, do you think that he should walk away? But do you think this campaign is too personal? Do you think it's fair to have something which is so directed at one man?
Well, at the end of the day, the football manager gets it. I'm in a position where, I help run junior teams. When you get youngsters, maybe 7 or 8, you get a lot of parents going, You always get the question, why is my son not playing? He's better than that. He's better than that lad. The manager always gets it. I think now that this club is too big for Alan Pardew to manage. But I'm in favour of all these protests as long as we all stick together and not have the little groups that I see all over the city of Newcastle. But it's not the first time that we've played like this. Before we had Kevin Keegan, we weren't doing very well. It's just since Kevin Keegan come and turned us into a better football team that we saw some football that we all like. Are people only remembering them days and we want them back? Well, that's not going to happen until we change a regime.
Listen, we're going to leave it there. It's going to be an interesting one this afternoon. Thank you very much indeed to Roger Howe, who is a Newcastle fan, and Ian from the Sack Pardew website. And Mark Pugach is going to be at St James's Park this afternoon, presenting 5 Live Sport from 12:15, and full commentary on that lunchtime kickoff. It's 7:32.
On digital, online, smartphone and tablet.